The world is drowning in debt. We're talking oceans of it, over $101 trillion to be precise. The global elite, the ones who sip champagne on their mega yachts while you're struggling to make rent, have engineered this system. They want you trapped, living paycheck to paycheck, terrified of the next economic downturn. Why? Because when you're drowning in debt, you're easier to control. In this video, we're diving deep into the murky depths of the global financial system. We'll expose the 10 shocking ways the elite use debt as a weapon to control us, and more importantly, we'll show you how to fight back. Let's talk about something called the Federal Reserve, or as I like to call it, the magical money printing machine. When the government needs money, they go to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve just conjures it out of thin air like some sort of economic wizardry. They literally print more money. The problem is, this new money isn't backed by anything real. Every time they hit print, the value of your dollar goes down. This, my friends, is called inflation. The ones who benefit are the ones at the very top, the ones who get to borrow trillions of newly printed dollars at rock-bottom interest rates. They get to play the system while you and I are stuck footing the bill. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the giant inflatable debt-zilla stomping on the global economy, the national debt. The United States alone is drowning in over $31 trillion of debt. It's such a mind-boggling number that it's practically meaningless. Now you might be wondering, where the hell is all this money going? Well, it's not going into your pockets, that's for sure. It's being spent on endless wars, corporate bailouts, and God knows what else. And the kicker? Every single one of us is on the hook for this colossal tab. Think about it. Every time you pay your taxes, a chunk of that money goes straight into the gaping maw of the national debt. It's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a thimble. No matter how much you pour in, it never seems to be enough. They're addicted to spending, and we're the ones stuck paying the price. The good old American dream. Go to college, get a good job, buy a house, live happily ever after. It's a lovely story, isn't it? Except, for millions of Americans, it's become a nightmare thanks to the student loan scam. We're told that a college education is the key to success, but what they don't tell you is that the key comes with a hefty price tag. And I'm not talking about tuition. They lure you in with promises of a brighter future. But what they conveniently forget to mention is that this little bit of debt can quickly balloon into a suffocating mountain of financial obligation. It's predatory lending at its finest, disguised as a path to a better life. Remember when you could buy a gallon of milk without feeling like you just took out a second mortgage? Pepperidge Farm remembers. But these days it feels like the price of everything is going up, up, up. And no, it's not just you, it's inflation, baby. But here's the thing about inflation, it's not some natural phenomenon like a hurricane or an earthquake, it's a manufactured crisis. It's a silent tax, a pickpocket in a suit that steals the value of your hard-earned money right under your nose. Every time you go to the grocery store and see that the price of eggs has gone up again, that's inflation at work. But here's the good news, once you understand how the game is played, you can start making moves to protect yourself. Let's talk about banks, shall we? Those friendly neighborhood institutions that are supposed to be the guardians of our hard-earned money. They're like the nice old lady who offers you cookies and milk, except the cookies are laced with debt, and the milk is spiked with interest rates. Here's the dirty little secret they don't want you to know. Banks create money. That's right, they don't just safeguard the money you deposit, they literally create it out of thin air. Every time you take out a loan, they don't just hand you a stack of bills that's been sitting in a vault. No, they create that money digitally with a few keystrokes. And then, the real kicker, they charge you interest on that money they just conjured out of thin air. They're like financial vampires, sucking the economic life out of hard-working people, all while sipping champagne in their ivory towers. The stock market. That magical casino where fortunes are made and lost on a daily basis. It's the ultimate symbol of capitalism, where anyone, regardless of their background, can strike it rich. Or so they want you to believe. Here's the truth. The stock market is rigged. It's a playground for the wealthy, a system designed to benefit those who already have all the chips. Insider trading, high-frequency trading, dark pools, these aren't just fancy Wall Street jargon, they're weapons of financial warfare used by the elite to siphon money away from the average investor. They manipulate markets, crash economies, and then swoop in to buy up assets at bargain basement prices, all while you're left holding the bag. By understanding how the system is rigged, you can start to see through the smoke and mirrors and make more informed investment decisions. Chapter 7: The Great Reset and the Push for a Cashless Society. Buckle up because things are about to get weird. You've probably heard whispers of something called the Great Reset, this vague, ominous-sounding plan to reshape the global economy. Sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? Well, here's the thing, it's not. The World Economic Forum, the folks who host those swanky Davos meetings where billionaires jet in to discuss the future of humanity, they've been openly talking about the Great Reset for years. And guess what's at the heart of this grand plan? A cashless society. That's right, they want to get rid of physical cash and move us all to a digital currency. Imagine a world where every single transaction you make is tracked, recorded, and analyzed. Chapter 8: The Cycle of Debt and Wage Slavery. Let's talk about the rat race, that never-ending cycle of work, sleep, consume, repeat. You wake up, you go to work, you come home exhausted, you watch some mindless TV to numb the pain, and then you do it all over again the next day. It's like being stuck on a hamster wheel, running and running but never actually getting anywhere. And you know what keeps us stuck on this wheel? Debt. It's the chains that bind us, the shackles that prevent us from breaking free. Wages have stagnated for decades, while the cost of living continues to skyrocket. The system is designed to keep us trapped in a perpetual state of financial insecurity, living paycheck to paycheck, one unexpected expense away from disaster. Chapter 9: Housing Prices and the Mortgage Crisis. Remember the American dream? That whole owning a home thing? Yeah, well, it's quickly turning into the American daydream, something that seems increasingly unattainable for the average person. Housing prices are through the roof, and I'm not talking about a little leak in the attic, I'm talking about the entire goddamn roof being ripped off by a Category 5 hurricane of greed and speculation. It used to be that owning a home was a symbol of stability, a way to build wealth and security for your family. Now, it's become an out-of-reach fantasy for many thanks to a toxic cocktail of low interest rates, Wall Street speculation, and good old-fashioned greed. Private equity firms and wealthy investors are buying up homes and apartments at an alarming rate, turning them into rentals and driving up prices for everyone else. Chapter 10: How Billionaires Profit from Your Debt. Let's talk about billionaires, shall we? Those eccentric geniuses who built their fortunes from the ground up, right? Well, not quite. While there are always exceptions to the rule, the truth is, many billionaires, and I'm talking about a statistically significant number here, built their empires on the backs of the working class. They're not just benefiting from the system, they're actively profiting from your debt. Every time you swipe your credit card, take out a loan, or pay your taxes, a tiny fraction of that money trickles its way up to the very top of the pyramid. They own the banks, the credit card companies, the corporations that lobby for policies that keep you in debt, and them in the black. Outro: Breaking Free. Your path to financial freedom. So there you have it, the ugly truth about the global financial system. It's designed to keep you trapped, to keep you afraid, to keep you under their control. But here's the good news, you don't have to play their game. You have the power to break free from this cycle of debt and reclaim your financial freedom. It starts with education. Learn how money works, understand the rules of the game, and start making informed decisions about your finances. Avoid debt traps like the plague, invest wisely, and never ever trust the system to take care of you. Hit like, share, and subscribe if you want more people to wake up to the reality of our current system.